Open Hack partners, participants, mentors, families, and friends. Welcome to the grand finale and award ceremony of the second annual SDG Open Hack Singapore. I am your MC for tonight, Kim, and I'm part of GGEF team. Time flies when you're having fun. At least that's my feeling for the weekend we've spent together. We met 2 days ago, and since then, I've seen participants come up with great solutions, make new connections, and receive valuable advice from industry experts. We are so pleased with the feedback that we've received so far, and we hope you had a good time at SDG Open Hack Singapore. To kick off the grand finale and awards ceremony, I would like to call upon Christina Lee, founder and CEO of GGEF and Global Green Connect. Christina is a media professional turned sustainability entrepreneur. She has been relentlessly promoting sustainability in business since she left the media. Apart from her day job with Global Green Connect, she invests a lot of her time in social enterprise, GGEF, with a focus on empowering youth and women eco-game changers to build a sustainable future. Welcome, Christina.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. It's always exciting to have friends and new friends, especially the very young people here with us. And I think when most of you heard that during the opening, I mentioned about SDG Open Hack we brought to Singapore, and we did everything virtually last year. It was fun, but I think it's more fun, to have some people connection. So tonight I'm so happy and feel like home to come to SSA, Singapore Sustainability Academy. I can't count how many times I've been here, but mostly for Esther's event. And we're so honored to have the deputy representative from Embassy of Switzerland in Singapore, Nicholas, with us tonight. I know, because he was like, no pressure if you can't pronounce my last name. I try, Sturtler. So, we have all our final judges here, and it's our great honor to have from the right to the left. We have Gabriel Tan. She's the Associate Director for SMU IIE program. Thank you for being with us. And we have Ms. Esther Ang, Chief Sustainability Officer of CDL. And also we are in this beautiful premise is Esther's initiative back in 2017, right? And we have Chitra Hamburg. She's the Managing Director of MSCI Asia. Thank you. Last but not least, not last, actually, we have one more man. We need to make sure we have gender equality. So we have Ashley Lowe, our Chief Impact Investment Officer of Global Green Connect. And we do have another gentleman behind the screen, actually, in Geneva, Francois Gray. So he's the director for the Geneva Tsinghua Initiative. So he's very instrumental for helping us on SDG education. Okay. Oh, here you are. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Okay. So what do I do with the clicker? Am I clicking or am I clicking? Okay, good. So I would imagine all of you here are familiar with the United Nations SDG goals, but to my surprise, or some of your surprise, when we brought the SDG Open Hack to Singapore last year, I was told by university that there are about 40% of students know what SDGs are. However, all the students that I talked to through different venture building or incubator program, I discovered that only 2 out of 10 would know what SDGs are. So I think that also gave us a very good reason to bring the SDG Open Hack to Singapore. And I think, for the program is not only about educating SDG, but also emphasize businesses and innovations are very, very important. This clicker is very sensitive. Okay. Okay. Okay, I think it's better for you to control the slides than I control the slides. Can we go back one slide? Yes. So this is a little milestone of SDG Open Hacks. It started in Geneva. And the idea is to really stimulate innovations and encourage collaboration. So when it launched in Geneva, it was not just within campus or students. It was actually in the Geneva Canton, encouraging everyone to come together to find solutions, innovative solutions for problem solving. And one of the director from Tsinghua brought the program to Beijing, and that was within one university only. And first year they got 500 students join, and second year multiplied to 1,000, and so on and so forth. And I saw how the student pivot over time, and I said, hey, why can't we bring it to Singapore? That was just a question. And the committee in Geneva said, yeah, Christina, why don't you just take it to Singapore? So that's how we started. But last year, it was very challenging because that was during lockdown. So a lot of students couldn't really, some of them, they're here. So they couldn't, meet and work the problems together, but they can only do it virtually, but they did a fantastic job. So this year we came back, and not only happening in Singapore, this year there are 4 other countries in Southeast Asia, including Bali, Bangkok, Laos, and Nepal. So next year we're going to bring it to Australia and Malaysia. So this is a big movement. So I can force one student asked me, so where do you foresee these things will go? And I said, you know what, apart from a lot of innovations being deployed, and we may foster a lot of startup, but also I see that it might become like a World Cup, then you're going to have representatives from different countries. So the sky is the limit, but we couldn't do it without our partners. Next slide, please. These are the people and companies, really help us to make it happen, because we literally need to take a whole village, to move this open hack and make it happen. The MC Kim said it so rightly, apart from my full-time job, this is my part-time job that people said, you have a lot of time in your hands that, you're running around, going, working with the students and bringing this program. But I think, there is some reward that not business or money can measure. So I'm also very happy working with all the like-minded companies as well. Next slide. These are the mentors working with the students over the weekend. And we're going to show you some highlight.
Looking back at the good times before it all went down, climbed right up on the hillside, a different view of my life. You left me running on and on, but I don't care, would you let me in? You said goodbye like everything's gone, everything that we could have been. But I know you're my liability. Yeah, I know you're my
Hello everyone, I'm Faihan. I'm Ilio. I'm Benny. We are from NOC Silicon Valley, and we are currently in Silicon Valley. And we are very happy to be part of this hackathon. And thank you so much for the committee for organizing such a successful event for us. And see you guys around.
we have students here tonight representing various teams. We got 9 teams presenting their innovative ideas to us and to the public. And some of them are Singapore-based students, but now they're overseas taking summer program. And I want to show you behind the scene. Can you give me a big round of applause to my team? They work night and day for. Last year, one of my colleagues said she lost 4 kg within a week, and I said, "Hey, this year our goal is to make sure you don't lose 4 kg." And this morning she told me, she said, "Oh, but I want to lose 4 kg. You know, like it's so hard to please, you know, your colleagues." Anyway, so we have here. So what some of the students have to say. Thank you so much for sending the quote, and we still see a lot of quotes coming in. And the next slide is where you know, some of our mentors have to say. So again, you know, we get a lot of positive feedback, and I think that's really make us very happy when we see that, you know, both students and mentors are so, you know, pumped up for building a sustainable future. I think this is not only a dream, but I think this is something that we should all work collectively together. And even tonight, I'm seeing all of you here. I know some of you are like the sustainability enthusiasts, that you really just want to come here and cheer on, you know, for the team, and I really appreciate it. So yeah, so without further ado, I'm going to hand it back to Kim, and you can introduce the next speaker. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Christina. Okay, to introduce the next speaker, Esther Ann is the Chief Sustainability Officer of City Developments Limited. She is a pioneer and strong advocate for ESG principles, underlying sustainable development, and a key pillar in green construction and sustainability. Today, we are all sitting in this beautiful site of SSA, which is also one of many CDL's and Esther's sustainability initiatives in Singapore. Esther is also one of our judges for today's finale. Without further ado, welcome Esther.
I will just spend 3 minutes. You know, I promised my green sisters will not take it too long. But there were some guests that I talked to. They said this is the first time they came to the SSA, the Singapore Sustainability Academy. And this was built as a Green Mark Platinum project and also a net zero energy building. It was opened in June 2017. And we give half of the space to Sustainable Energy Association Singapore, which is actually an NGO with about 15 years of history, and they promote and build capacity and knowledge and innovation about sustainable or renewable energy. So the other classroom at the back is for them to use to actually train people, not just from Singapore, but also partner with ADB, that is from ASEAN region. And of course, we use this humble space, you know, to do a lot of things like, you know, events like this, or we have like Women for Green Network. We have a lot of even sustainable fashion show last year. We do a lot of interesting things here, and Youth for Climate as well. And this humble space actually is a base for quite a number of UN agencies, UN Global Compact, UN UNEP, and the UNDP as well, as World Green Building Councils as well. What we are proud of is actually the partnership. It is supported by 6 government agencies, 15 founding industry partners, and what you see here are actually more than close to 90% are all sustainable building materials, cross-laminated timber, and all certified by Nature Barcode, and then the carpet from Interface, and TV is blocking actually the real-time tracker by Schneider. So we know how much energy we generate, you know, with the solar panels on the rooftop, and how much we actually consume. So based on the past few years, we normally consume about less than 50,000 kilowatt hour, but we generate about 60,000. So it is purely a net zero building. And then at night, we can't tap onto solar, and we actually tap on the grid, but whatever we generated actually go to the grid. So it is still a net zero building. And we always believe in innovation, and we believe in passion also. When you have the will, you will, you know, come up with interesting ideas. And since opening in June 2017, we have hosted or organized 630 events and training courses. Before the lockdown, 3 per week. So it is really crazy, hot place. So we're glad to welcome you here, and we bring back people. And by the way, it is rent-free. So if you have any, SDG or climate action related food initiative, talk to us. We don't charge $1, we promise you. So well, without further ado, good luck to all the team, and 加油！努力！
Thank you, Esther, for the encouraging speech. Let us now welcome Nicholas Sturgler, Deputy Head of Mission of Embassy of Switzerland in Singapore, to give us his welcome speech.
Thank you. Nicholas will just do. And I'll try to be short as well. I have basically 2 points. One relates to this one copy of the SDGs. We recently made a kind of a clearance of all our things that we have at the embassy because we were moving to temporary offices. And this thing, these SDGs copies, I kept. And it relates to personal involvement with the SDGs in the years around 2015. I happened to be in New York at the time when the SDGs were actually negotiated. And when I heard not everyone knows about the SDGs, I'm not surprised in a way, because it's, of course, as New York is far away. But if you had been there, what you would have seen is hundreds, thousands, small armies basically of delegates poring over these texts that would eventually become the 17 goals. And the process was quite astonishing. I mean, there was the UN doing tons of consultations, also trying to get the voices from every corner of the planet, and to put all of that together in a gigantic negotiation over many, many months. And what we have as a result is this. And I guess my message is here, not just only how much effort was put into it, into this document, but also their immense relevance. To my mind, the SDGs pretty much represent the only document that we have in the world that seeks to or represents the aspiration of mankind to rise above its current limitations, meaning eradication of poverty, access to health care, elimination of hunger, and so on. These are all tremendously important goals. And so your involvement in this is also very important, because what we ultimately need to succeed with the SDGs is ideas. And what you have brought, hopefully, or I'm sure you have, during this weekend to the table is fresh ideas. So I'm really keen to hear about this, what you've done. I'm really excited about that. And my second point is just as simple, if you will, which is carry on with this. What you've experienced with the SDGs nowadays, continue that work, because basically we all depend on you, on us, on this and the next generation to deliver on the SDGs. So I could make a reference, and I will, a short reference to the fact that, of course, the Swiss embassy is also trying to contribute to the SDGs, and we have what we call a plus pavilion at the Marina Barrage, which is kind of a wooden construct like this beautiful building here, which stands for one aspect, the challenges in the building sector in terms of delivering on the SDGs, sustainability, and so on. But I think the more important message even is that it's really you to go further with the SDGs. And I would paraphrase John F. Kennedy in the way that I would say, do not ask what the SDGs deliver to you, ask how you can deliver for the SDGs. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicholas. I'm sure the finalists are now more pumped than ever to share with us their pitches. Before we start, please take note that each team has strictly 3 minutes to pitch, followed by a 2-minute Q&A session. With that, may we now welcome our first team, Team Greenie Web.
Is the mic okay? Okay, so good evening, everyone. We are Team Greenie Web. Who is control the slides? Next. Oops. Where is the clickers or which? Oh, thank you. Oops. Okay. Yeah, just help me. Actually, how do you clean next time? I'm sorry. Sorry for the interruption. Okay. Okay, so I'm Anthony, and tonight together with me are Nakshatra and Sonofa. The SGD that we're addressing tonight is sustainable cities and communities, and the target 11.6 in particular. So nowadays, the governments and the companies are embracing digitalization to increase efficiency and reduce carbon emission. But at the same time, the digital carbon emission, or DCE in short, is often overlooked. So what is it? It is basically the carbon emission that comes from electricity usage of digital softwares, and it is now responsible for 4% of the annual carbon emission. And for this presentation, we will assume that 20% of the building's carbon emission are digital carbon emission. So who is our target customer? Our target customer is focused on large MNC in building environment industry, as they are more likely to possess the requirements that we show on the slides.
Okay, digital decarbonization can be done on many types of systems, as you can see here. But Greenie aims to focus on improving the back-end code for all types of systems. But only for intranet systems, we will be improving front-end code as well. This decision was made because we do not want to affect the user experience of any client-facing public front-end websites and mobile apps. So how is DCE calculated? Sorry for the slides. Okay, I'll just speak first. DCE is calculated by first calculating the electrical consumption needed for from like data traffic. After that, we can use science-based formulas to get the value for our emission. I'm extremely sorry for this. Okay, here we can see Greenie Web applied to an intranet context system. So you can see the user interface of Greenie Web. Basically, Greenie Web is a software that works with other type of systems to help reduce the digital carbon emissions. And it does so by improving the front-end and back-end codes. So here you can see how by reducing color variation in images and also removing unnecessary animations and images in a website, it is able to help reduce carbon emissions. For backend, we improve that by identifying redundant code and also minifying the scripts. The one on pictures on right shows how the interface would look like after using Greenie Web, and you can see how like a dark mode is applied and unnecessary images are being improved. However, the functionality of the interface would remain the same. Our value proposition is to help our customers reduce the digital carbon emissions, and in the long run, by doing so, they will also be able to be eligible to apply for green finance policies.
Sorry, time's up. 3 minutes is up. Okay, thank you, Team Greenie Web. Thank you. Thank you, Team Greeny Web. Sorry, the time is only for 3 minutes. So that was amazing and good job. There was a technical. Should be there another minute.
At least complete the
Okay.
What?
Only one mark.
Yeah, one mic. Okay. One slide back. Yeah. Okay, now let's look at the target market. As you can see here, 45% of carbon emissions comes from industries. Click one time. And from our calculations, we identified that 20% of carbon emissions would come from digital carbon emissions by MNCs. Next slide. As you can see here from the general profile of our target customer, we identified that 27.8 tons of carbon emission is produced by a company in a year. And as you can see in the previous slide, that's equal to 6. Back one slide. Yeah, that is equal to the carbon emission of 6 cars. So next slide. By using Greeny Web, we would be able to reduce carbon emissions by 87%, that is 24.3 tons a year. And we also will be able to reduce electrical consumption by 87% from our general company, which would be 2.1 terawatts a year. Next slide. So the total monetary savings that would be gained from this would be $6,000 a year. Next. So now you may be wondering, what's our business model? As you can see here, for every $100 saved by our client, we would take a portion of the utility savings and a portion of the carbon tax savings. And the customer would have to pay no additional cost from using our services. And that's all. Thank you.
May we now have the judges to ask their questions? I think you hold on to this. Yeah.
I just have one question. What is the investment amount you're looking at if somebody investor come in and want to invest in this project?
We're estimating an investment amount of $20,000 at the minimum so that we can ensure that our product is fully generated and is up to its best standard before we can release it out to them. So by having a $20,000 initial investment, we would be able to satisfy all our minimum requirements in order to sell the product.
Quick one. Just now you say it's mainly target audience is the developers, real estate company, but would it be able to scale up and reach out to other industry as well?
Yes, the building industry would be one of our customers, but we would definitely be willing to scale up to other companies as well. And the IT industry is also something that would be really attractive to our company because they would rely heavily on digital infrastructure for their services as well. Yeah, so we would definitely scale up to other industries. Any other questions?
Okay. Thank you, Team Greeny Web. Thank you, judges. Next up, may we welcome Team Good Food Factor. Okay, so the 3 minutes starts now.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. So we are Team Good Food Factor, and I'm Abel. Oh no, we're not using the mic. Is it okay? Use the mic. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay, we restart the time.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, hi everyone. We are Team Good Food Factor, and I'm Abel. With Samuel and Shenxian, we'll pitch our solution to SDG 3, good health and well-being. So the problem we're tackling here is, next slide please, is the prevalence of chronic diseases in Malaysia. Research shows that a lot of Malaysians are either overweight or diabetic. And the majority are adults here, so our focus is them. Next slide please. We aim to improve the well-being of Malaysians by inspiring them to adopt a healthier lifestyle. Research shows that the root cause of the problem is a lack of self-regulation. So what can we do? Next slide, please. We present our solution, Health Guru, a mobile app that provides convenience unlike ever seen before. Next slide. Health Guru combines food journaling, sleep and fitness tracking, and personalization into a one-stop app. Next slide. Food journaling used to be very tedious, but our AI innovation revolutionizes the process where Health Guru can provide you your nutritional intake by simply taking a photo of your food. Next slide. And other features help you to further reach your fitness goals. So the fitness tracker is compatible with various tracking devices, and the sleep tracker it works through screen time monitoring. And the personalization service provides professional advice by nutritionists that help you better cater to your needs. Next slide. Health Guru is better than the current apps in the market. Top apps like Noom and MyFitnessPal either lack personalization or caters only to the American market, two drawbacks that are overcome by our app.
Thanks, Abel. Next slide, please. On top of that, our app builds an inspiring community where everyone gets to motivate one another by posting their diets, recipes, and their workouts. Partnering with the Malaysian Health Promotion Board, this increased credibility and customization to best fit Malaysians. Next slide. In our app, there is a point system that allows users to gain points and redeem vouchers and earns exclusive membership that can further motivate them to stay healthy. Next slide, please. Malaysia, according to a research, suffer from 9 billion productivity loss just because of chronic diseases. Not only improving people's health, this also achieves socio-economic goals like increased productivity. All in all, we believe our app will make a huge leap towards SDG 3. Next slide, please. To expand our business, we realized that chronic diseases are prevalent in other economies in Southeast Asia. Hence, we want to expand our business to these countries and benefit more people. Next slide, please. On top of being scalable, we believe our app also can earn high and sustainable profits because there's an increasing awareness of good health in Malaysia, and there's an increased credibility in the market due to our partnership with the Malaysian Health Promotion Board. Next slide, please. On the whole, Health Guru, your reliable companion for health. Thank you.
May we have the judges to ask their questions?
So this is more of a basic question of how you've customized it for Malaysia. So when you're looking at for the local market, obviously imagine you've looked at the local cuisines and how you would probably attempt to point in the direction of more healthy alternatives. What sort of data have you been using in order to do that?
Like, when we want... hello?
We can hear you.
So for the catering to Malaysian needs is due to the deep learning model that is used like for the data. Like for example, we want to collect the food data to fit in our AI model to, like for example, like this app, they are trained using US food. So for our app, we collect the image data from local eateries in Malaysia such that the app will recognize those food and get its nutritional content. Does that answer your question?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Team Good Food Factor. I think it was inspiring to know that you have came up with that in the span of 2 days. Sorry, before I move on to the next team, right? When 2 minutes is up, right, we will ring this one time, so to give them a warning. And then when it's 3 minutes, then we will ring it 2 times. Okay? Okay, so next up for our third team, we may have Team Hiraya to pitch their solution. Team Hiraya is joining us online today. All the best, Team Hiraya.
All right, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? All right.
Yes,
so
yes, we
good
can
evening,
hear you.
everyone.
Yes.
Sorry, you can hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so your 3 minutes time starts now.
All right. Good evening, everyone. We are Team Hiraya. I'm Caroline, and my teammates are Stephanie, Justin, and Dean. Today, we'll be addressing SDG 12, and our solution aims to contribute to the Fair Price Group's efforts to adopt a circular economy approach. We'll focus on a particular segment in the life cycle of food, specifically the waste management of bread. 40% of food waste in Singapore is generated from industrial and commercial sectors, including supermarkets. 81% of this food waste is not recycled, and when the waste is incinerated, the carbon dioxide emissions are significant. Being one of the biggest waste streams in the country, food waste proves to be a major obstacle on Singapore's path to sustainability. Current methods of tackling this problem include supermarket chains donating unsold food to food banks. Otherwise, unconsumed food accumulates in landfills, which is an inefficient use of Singapore's already limited land area.
Unconsumed bread, such as those past their expiry date or compromised quality, are incinerated. 28,000 kilograms of bread are salvaged every month, and we can take advantage of this through our proposed solution. Our solution repurposes unconsumed bread, fermenting breadcrumbs into bioethanol. Bioethanol is a main ingredient in the production of hand sanitizer. This commercially viable product makes use of affordable and accessible ingredients, often used in the food industry, as well as simple production processes. Now, we will measure the impact of our solution. Around 4,300 kilograms of waste bread is produced by Fair Price supermarkets every month. According to the research supporting our solution, 1,300 liters of hand sanitizer can be produced. From further calculations, the total cost of production and therefore the break-even price of the hand sanitizer is around $9 per liter. This is significantly smaller than our market reference, priced at around $45 per liter. This outcome hence shows that the Fair Price Group has the option to maintain these low prices to incentivize their customers to shift towards greener alternatives or opt to have a markup on these products.
Toast Ale is an existing company which repurposes surplus bread to brew beer. A similar process is used for our solution, and researchers in universities in South Africa and Indonesia have successfully produced natural hand sanitizers, catalyzed out of necessity in the pandemic. Potential concerns over impurities during processing are addressed by the use of hydroperoxide, which kills viruses and bacterial spores. We have also identified opportunities for expansion, other uses of ethanol, and other types of food waste which can be repurposed, such as orange peels for biofilm and rice husk for sustainable concrete. We can also increase the distribution channels beyond just supermarkets to establishments such as industrial kitchens, factories, cruise ships, and even hotels. By producing the hand sanitizer out of breadcrumbs, the Fair Price Group will not only have their own household brand hand sanitizer and generate additional revenue, but also give consumers the opportunity to contribute to sustainable efforts through their purchasing of greener products, subsequently helping them extend the usage life of bread in order to reduce waste. We are Team Hiraya, and thank you for listening to our presentation.
Thank you, Team Hiraya. Can we now have the judges to ask their questions?
Hello, ladies. Hi, I think I like the idea very much. But is it proven, or have you, validate some of your, the concept that, this can work?
So according to our research, we found that the breadcrumbs have been already converted into beer. So essentially, how beer is made is that it uses a main ingredient, which is bioethanol. And this bioethanol is actually also a main ingredient in hand sanitizer. So since the process has been proven for beer, we are also hopeful that it will work for hand sanitizers, as shown in university research. In universities in both South Africa and Indonesia, those projects have worked and they have yielded those natural hand sanitizers. Yes.
Since you're online, perhaps I can ask a question from Geneva.
Yes, of course.
I'm
Yes,
just
of
curious
course.
to hear, how did you come up with this idea in the first place? What triggered your interest in this specific use of bread?
I think I can take this question. Basically, we had multiple ideas, but then we wanted to stream our target waste as well, because there can be different waste. You can convert multiple waste into ethanol, but we wanted to somehow narrow it down so that we can focus on one waste stream. And we wanted to see what is the market and the viability of the product as well. And because hand sanitizers are essential now, especially during the pandemic, we decided that it was a good idea.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, team and judges. Okay, next let's welcome Team Community Solar Energy to share with us their solution. The floor is yours. Okay, the time starts now.
Is it just me, or is the weather getting hotter and hotter nowadays? It's not only you who can feel the impact of global warming, but me, myself, Jingru, and my team member Irene can feel the impact of global warming. It's real and it's here. Next slide, please. We are Team Solar Energy, Community Solar Energy, with a mission to harness the power of community to amplify the absorption of solar energy. And our vision is a world that relies 100% on renewable natural energy. Next slide, please.
Singapore is not an exception in feeling the effects of global warming. Increased reliance on non-renewable sources of energy, such as natural gas, has resulted in a carbon footprint and increasing electricity bills. Next slide, please. Solar energy is one such renewable source of energy that Singapore relies on, as efforts have been taken to increase the number of solar panel installations in Singapore, such as in the rooftops of HDBs, and also with the creation of one of the world's largest floating solar platforms. However, this is still expected to only supply 3% of Singapore's electricity demand in 2030. So this calls for more individual responsibility. Next slide, please.
So our solution is to provide the community with portable solar panels where you can collect and return across vending machine located across Singapore. We want to harness the power of community and amplify the absorption of solar panels through you.
These portable solar panels can also be attached to window grills, like especially when people are going to work and they don't get exposure to sunlight, or like when they basically just don't go outdoors. So next slide. So this is an example of how we intend to get it like clamped onto window grills using such a clamp that can clamp the solar panel like this, and this clamp should be able to tilt at an angle of 30 to 45 degrees, which is optimum for solar energy intake. And since, like as you can see from this prototype, there's also a connection that comes out of it. It can also be used to power perhaps rechargeable batteries with the correct connection. Yeah. Next slide, please.
Our target audience are those residing in HDB and also the middle-income families, as they are the ones that are highly engaged in many community ground-up projects and the one that can feel the direct impacts of these solutions.
We also, back please. We also aim to target military personnel such as NSFs because they are people who will be spending a lot of time in the sun. So example, like when they go exercise, perhaps in the parade square and all, they can bring this portable solar panel, leave it on the ground, and perhaps they can use it to power their appliances in camp and perhaps charge their portable chargers or phones. Next slide.
So as you can see, right, this is actually very compatible and convenient to bring around and lightweighted, and it can supply a maximum of 10 watts that can power a LED light or charge your phone on the go under the sun, of course. Next slide, please. Our business model is that we can either charge rechargeable batteries and then sell it back to companies that need them for their own usage, like toys company, etc. Or user can bring back the panels to their home to charge up their electrical appliances. Next slide, please.
So these are some examples of some products that we think we can power, especially those that use.
Thank you, Tim. Time is up. Okay, thank you. Can we have the judges ask their question, please?
Interesting idea to have solar panels that are portable, definitely. I just want to ask, do you guys manage to do any research on the estimated upfront cost of such a portable solar panel versus how much you think the consumer can save from getting one?
So I can answer questions. Actually, if you buy it in bulk from Taobao, right, it's actually, I think one of it maybe per piece is around less than Singapore $10. But if you buy in bulk, I feel that it will even be more cheaper and affordable. Yes. So, yes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, judges. Thank you, Team Community Solar Energy. Next up, can we welcome Team Dynamic up on stage?
Now we can start. Yes.
Okay, the time starts now.
Okay. Good evening, guys. So our team is about recycling plastic bottles. So this is a team. So do you know that actually 8 out of 10 households are aware of the concept of recycling, but only 4% of plastics will end up recycling. And one of the reasons is because there's inconvenience. So you see there's a huge gap from having the awareness to the actual recycling process. So our goal is to really fill this bridge between having the awareness and the action by providing convenience, incentives, as well as a practicality. Okay, now I see what's this. Okay, so why is fair price is suitable? So aside from the fact that it's owned by NTUC, which is government-affiliated the organization, fair price also has a massive market size and the customer proximity. Oh, wow, okay. And for the recycling flow, so starting from the consumers, okay. So the consumers will have two options. So first one is putting their recycled bottles in the fair price collection points or the housing collection points. And then afterwards, it will be picked up by the recycling truck or the Karunguni, it's a third parties, and it will end up plastic bottle recycling plant to be recycled and reduce the plastic waste. Hello. Okay. For in terms of the product design, we would like to complement the physical machine with the digital app to harness the power of technology. And with this app, the consumers can locate the closest and the most convenient stores to put their plastic bottles. And also the consumers, they can really see the number of bottles that they have been recycled, and then they will have a better idea of how they are doing. But plus, they can also use the recycled bottles to get some points from the fair price and get some voucher, and eventually they can even have the options to swap it to actual reusable plastic bottles to inherently change the way how they consume water. So we see the scalability journey. So we want to starting from the trial phase to really starting from small. And the first step is Vivo City and having the biggest flagship store in Singapore. So we want to starting from there. And by the time it's 2030, we would like to have all the fair price stores to have this collection machines. For the benefits, it's quite straightforward. Okay, I'm gonna just talk about the cost. So the cost is per year, it's estimated 15,000 Singaporean dollar, which we think it's quite feasible. And which is quite feasible. So we would like to think it's quite practical solutions to tackle recycling plastic bottles. And last but not least, thank you so much for offering this chance for us to tackle this relevant and essential problem of recycling plastic bottles. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that amazing sharing. Can we have the judges to now ask the questions?
Oh, yes.
Any idea of how this particular business idea could earn revenue for you? Or should this just be an initiative that you think Fair Price should undertake?
So we believe it's quite a long-term game in terms of, because, you know, like there's a carbon footprint tax is coming up. So if Fair Price is involved in these actions, they could eventually will gain some profit out of it. Plus, there will be goodwill. So it's not only measured by the financial terms, but also from the more social and environmental aspect. And as a Fair Price, it's a public company by NTUC. So, you know, there's ESG regulators and the compliance. So everything, I think, we kind of like added together at the end of the day. So for us, it's extremely relevant and important that Singapore could take the lead in terms of recycling plastics. Thank you. Any more questions? No? Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, judges. Thank you to all the teams for the exciting pitching session. Before we move on to the rest of the pitches, I have some exciting news to share. Now we would like to announce the favorite project winning team. This is the project which was favored by the majority of votes, capturing the most amount of interest and turning into a crowd favorite. It takes a group with many unique elements to stand out from the rest of the teams, and participants must rack their brains to make their project a unique one amongst many other groups. The winning team will also receive Amazon cash vouchers. May we now invite Ashley Low, Chief Impact Investment Officer of Global Green Connect, up on stage to present the prize, please. Ashley. Okay, so thank you, Ashley. The crowd has made their decision, and the most favorite project award goes to Team Powerpuff Girls. Please stay on stage for a photo. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Team Powerpuff Girls. Sorry. As we continue to the second round of features, let us welcome back on stage Team Powerpuff Girls. Okay, guys, ready? Okay. Okay, your time starts now.
Hi, we're the Pop-Up Girls. We have a very, very simple like slides. Next, please. So this is our problem, basically. We just want to replace single-use plastics and support our customers to extend the usage life of packaging. Next, please. So our goal, we take this from FairPrice itself. We want to save 30 million plastic bags yearly by 2030. And we want to achieve this by changing our consumers' mindsets to encourage sustainability. Next, please.
So now let me take you on a quick user journey. Let's say you really wanted oranges. Next slide, please. You go to the produce section in FairPrice Market. Next slide. You reach out for the plastic, but you realize that plastic is super bad for the environment. And you see that there is a more sustainable option available, which is these baskets. Next slide, please. These baskets are woven using plastic recycled from PET bottles. They're easily stackable, and they also help support the local craftspeople in Bali. Next slide, please. Once you have loaded all your oranges and you go to the weighing station, instead of the stickers, you can now use an NFC tag. All you need to do is scan this NFC tag and it will act as your virtual shopping cart. Your items will appear on the screen, which you can easily edit, add, or subtract to, which is something which would not have been possible with the stickers that you got with your plastic bag shopping these oranges. Now that you have picked out your oranges, you move to the cashier. Next slide. And you go towards the cashier to pay. All the cashier needs to do is scan your NFC tag, and they will know exactly how many oranges you are planning on buying and how many oranges are there in your cart. It's a quick validation, and you move to pay. Once you have paid, next slide, you can either choose to bag your oranges in the FairPrice plastic bags, in your own plastic bags that you have brought from your home, or an optimized reusable bag with a barcode. Each swipe of this barcode at checkout results in a single-time discount, small discount for a single-time customer, or for added rewards and points for an NTUC member. Next slide, please. This can be very easily integrated with the FairPrice app because it collects consumer habits and you can keep track of number of bags, and the scan and go feature can easily replace the NFC tags for consumers.
So we know that the current system works, but I think we can all agree that it's not environmentally friendly and it's very single use, so the quality is kind of horrible. So next slide, please. So coming back to our goal, we took these numbers from a report done by Co-op on FairPrice. We estimate that there will be 400,000 shoppers a day, and that will make us save 280,000 plastic bags just in a day alone. This helps our company image because it's a CSR initiative, and it also helps save our costs because instead of buying these single-use bags, recurring costs, we no longer have to do that. Our baskets and our NFC tags last 10 years at least. Next, please. So this is the estimated budget. Next, please.
This is the rough timeline of our proposed plan. Next slide, please. We'll go in terms of 3 stages. The first will be the order and purchase of our RFID tags, basket, and reusable bags and pouches. Secondly, we'll set up the system and also draft the terms and conditions for the whole campaign. Next slide, please. We'll choose to launch the trial program for the first 2 years in FairPrice Finals, as it focuses on the consumer's changing lifestyle and also has a lesser crowd. If everything goes well, next slide, please, we would look to expand to all FairPrice chains such as Extra and the normal FairPrice, and also look towards the sale of baskets and also lifestyle merchandises. Thank you.
The time is up. So that was amazing and good job. Now we know why your team emerged as the crowd's favorite. May we have the judges to ask their questions, please?
Is it allowed to go back to the slide with the financials? So, because we just sort of brushed through. So.
The slide on the financials?
The commercial slide.
Commercial break.
Yep, that's great. Just 1 second.
trying to break down your numbers, but where is the cost and saving from a NTUC perspective? As I mean, I like the idea of saving plastic, but from a commercial viable, where does that cost and saving benefit for the NTUC to invest all the tech and all the baskets, and where does that come from?
Yeah, you can add on. So here we have broken down the cost of the baskets, the tags, and the readers. So we would be saving costs on the plastic that we have to keep purchasing, because we would be replacing them with baskets which are not single use. So they will last for 10 years, so it's not a repeated cost. So we are getting rid of that cost. We are also getting rid of the cost of stickers. Now, there is an initial upfront investment that is involved. But as you can see, if you buy in wholesale numbers, you buy these, there's obviously the whole wellness factor involved and the whole CSR factor involved. But even apart from that, when you buy these things at wholesale cost, over time it's going to pay off for itself just because of the number of times you can keep reusing it. Again, there is also additional revenue to be made from the bags. Can we go a few slides back actually? But the 3 bags that you can actually put your items in. So now that we have gotten rid of the single-use plastics, customers will either choose, another slide back please. Yes, customers will either choose to pay for this, which is already paid. They might bring their own thing, which is good for the environment, or they might purchase our new reusable sustainable bags. And they will do so because it rewards them with points, with vouchers, which means that they will keep coming back to the fair price with these bags so that they can earn more and more points and redeem more and more vouchers. And we can also keep track of all of their consumer habits this way. Like tell them that it's time for your monthly shopping trip, you haven't eaten healthy in a while, you should purchase some fruits. You know, so things like that, I think, would really add to fair price and would really help fair price even tackle customers' needs while at the same time managing their own needs. I hope that answered your question.
That's amazing. Any other questions? All good? All right, thank you so much. And thank you for the slides.
Thank you. Thank you, judges. So next up, can we please welcome Team Igloo? The floor is yours. Okay, your time starts now.
Good evening. I'm Matthew from Team Igloo. And today we want to propose to you an alternative to air conditioning to target Goal 11, sustainable cities and communities. Next, please. Next, please. This is a brief overview of what I'll be discussing. Next. So we live in a very hot part of the world, which makes us especially susceptible to rising temperatures. And we all do the same thing, to blast the aircon. Business is booming, aircon retailers and servicing firms say. 40% of your household electricity bill is used on air conditioning. And the most common use case is to use it before you sleep. Next, please. But if you think about that, that's really inefficient. Why should I have to cool the whole room if I'm going to lie on a mattress? We actually look to medical technology for inspiration because there are cooling pads which circulate ice water around the joints to deal with inflammation and pain. And we envision to use this concept into mattress protectors to create a large surface area which does not have to be as cold as an aircon in order to maximize the efficiency of heat exchange. And with that, we built our prototype. Next, please. So an insulated icebox stores a reservoir of cold water added by the user. Next. And this circulates through these cooling pads, which is placed underneath or on top of the mattress. To prevent ice burns, an additional gel layer of isopropyl alcohol is placed to disperse the heat and to protect the user. Next, please. And it's ridiculous how effective this is in comparison to the traditional aircon. Instead of your standard 1,000 to 2,000 watt aircon, you're talking about a 3 to 5 watt aquarium pump. There's no installation or servicing cost, and we built our entire prototype for less than $100. The Igloo is an environmentally sustainable and friendly alternative. But by focusing on the efficiency, we allow environmentally friendly choices to also be more attractive price-wise. This is not an alternative, this is the superior choice. Next, please. And if you think about it, there's limitless scaling. We can expand into the rest of Southeast Asia, because the last time I went to JB last Thursday, it was scorching. Rising incomes and increasing temperatures will allow us to capitalize on a massive target market. By 2050, the global demand for air conditioning will triple, and every second from now till then, there'll be 10 aircons sold for the next 30 years. Next. So in conclusion, global warming's rising temperatures have created uncomfortable temperatures all around the globe. But the solution cannot be part of the problem. We are providing Igloo, an environmentally sustainable approach to air conditioning, to achieve similar levels of comfort with lower upfront and recurring costs. Thank you.
Team Igloo, it really is an amazing feat that you have developed that over 2 days. Can we have the question from the judges, please?
So how long does this cooling gel last? All night?
Sorry, the cooling gel or the cooling itself?
Just the whole cooling thing.
So when we tested it, firstly, the temperatures start extremely low. And naturally, over time, as heat exchange occurs, the temperature rises. But we tested it for 8 hours because I left it overnight and I came back. And the temperature was still 2 degrees hotter than when it first began. So we're talking about really, really efficient heat exchange, because the entire icebox as well as the piping is insulated to ensure that none of it is lost to the environment or the ambient temperature of the room.
What's the guesstimate of energy consumed versus the normal air condition?
So we actually have the slide there where I calculated it based on kilowatt hours. I went to go check my own aircon, and my aircon was 1,400 watts. And if I were to run it the whole night, that's times 8. The pump I used uses between 3 to 5 watts, because what we did was we took an aquarium pump and we circulated the water. This does not need to be fast, it does not need to be vigorous, it just needs to be a gradual cycle to ensure that the water which is coming in is always not warm. Yes, I hope that answers your question. Yes.
I'm actually really impressed by the solution. It's just that I am not sure how lying on top of your, whether or not it affects the comfort if I'm lying on top of your solution.
That's an absolutely excellent question, and that's the first one that the team thought of. And to that, we actually say that we need to work a bit more on the materials. We do know of solutions in IKEA, because I wanted to buy it, where there's a gel layer which helps to wick away the heat and the moisture as well to create a more comfortable solution. This is a hackathon, and we built it in 24 hours on a razor-thin budget. But in the future, we will be using that in order to... But in the future, we know that this cannot, like, if somebody was going out to buy a mattress and they had to lie on isopropyl alcohol, they will definitely complain to us. But by cooperating with these other materials and material scientists, we can create a better product, which is superior than the alternative. Thank you.
Judges. Next up, let's welcome our team from USA, Team Mates.
Hi, I'm not sure if everyone can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great.
Are you ready?
Yes, I
Okay,
am.
so your 3 minutes time starts now.
Hi, my name is Huai Ang. Together with my team, we came up with Refridge, an interactive e-fridge application that aims to reduce food wastage for its users. Food wastage is a huge problem in Singapore, being one of its biggest waste stream and making up about half of the average daily waste of a household. It is estimated that for every kilogram of food waste, just over 2.5 kg of carbon dioxide is emitted. For many families, tracking food wastage can be difficult and unimportant, but with Refridge, we make it easy to track contents on the fridge, while also minimizing expiring ingredient or uneaten leftover. We offer 3 main functions: a grocery list that users can record what they need to buy and scan their receipts after. What they have bought will be automatically added to their fridge application. Lastly, we send notification if any food is close to expiring and remind users to consume them. We target our solution at young families because they are most likely to regularly purchase groceries while being accepting of nascent technology and being more environmentally conscious. Our product is a phone app. In this app, we can simply use the scanning function to scan the receipt. It's capable of identifying the item name accurately and assign an estimated expiry date depending on the nature of the item before adding it to the receipt list. Upon clicking on the list, the user is able to oversee all the items and the expiry dates. If they find the estimated expiry date is inaccurate, they can modify the expiry date on their own. Whenever an item on the list is approaching the date but is not checked off in the grocery list, we will send a notification to the user to remind them of the expiry date. We aim to attract customers via social media advertising campaigns. We have readily open feedback channel that collects the feedback from customers. And of course, we use this feedback to continuously enhance our product so that we can always meet their expectations. Onto our VPC, as our gains, customer will experience an easier process of noting down ingredient boards. For the pains, customer will have difficulty in finding, tracking, and remembering what is in the fridge will no longer be worried, as our application will regularly send notifications to remind users when the food is about to expire. The quantifiable success metrics are the number of leftover eaten instead of thrown. We can also measure the number of unexpired ingredients. For the non-quantifiable metrics, we want to gauge the ease of managing their list of groceries. There are some threats that we might face. Firstly, this application is user-dependent. Its impact largely depends on the user diligence and honesty to update the app. Secondly, we have a lack of quantifiable metrics, so it might be hard to measure how much carbon emission is reduced. Despite the threat, we believe that Refridge will be efficient in alleviating food waste and reducing urban carbon emission and embrace our sustainable city development goals. Thank you.
Thank you, teammates. Thank you for joining us at 4 a.m. US time. May we have the judges to ask their questions, please? Any questions from the judges?
May I ask a question from Zidiva?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, great. So very nice presentation. Thank you. On the issue of expiry, sometimes the expiry dates are not the ultimate date at which you can eat or benefit from this product. Are you considering that maybe some items could last longer and letting the user know that so they use them more effectively?
So what we plan is that we have a database that contains all these items. Over time, our database will learn like what are the kinds of items and what are the potential expiry dates. And also we are also taking into the user's recommendations. For example, if a user feels that the expiry date we assign to an item is not accurate, they can change the expiry date and we will receive the recommendation from the user and we modify our database accordingly. So over time, as more people start to use this application, our expiry dates will become more and more accurate. And hopefully this will improve the experience.
Thank you.
Any more questions from the judges? No. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Team Igloo. Thank you, judges. Finally, may we welcome Team Eco Warriors up on stage.
Hello.
Okay, your time starts now.
Yeah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Laichu representing the Eco Warriors. So Kenneth will be voice over our presentation in the video. So I will be answer the questions at the end of the presentation. Please watch.
We are Team Eco Warriors, and this is our business pitch for SDG Open Hack 2022. From our research, we found out that 744 million kg of food was wasted in Singapore in 2019. Only 11% of Singaporeans frequently consider buying from reduced to clear sections in supermarkets, and 25% of Singaporeans opt to overbuy during grocery shopping. Hence, we decided to frame our problem into 3 parts. There's no easy solution to manage inventory at home, supermarkets make a loss when food is not sold, and reduce to clear products do not attract customers. Hence, our proposed solution is an inventory tracking mobile application for consumers to influence their behavior towards making use and buying of food items that are about to expire. From a B2C standpoint, we will make use of a robust artificial intelligence model that suggests ways for consumers to utilize their soon-to-expire foods. For example, if a consumer has milk that's expiring in 1 day, our trained AI algorithm will take a look at other food items in the consumer's inventory that are also going to expire, such as cheese and bacon in this case, and find complementary food products and recommend the corresponding recipe to the consumer, in this case a hearty carbonara recipe. There are 2 unique value propositions in this case. First, we aim to empower consumers to take charge of their own inventory to reduce food wastage by reusing food items that are about to expire. And number two, to save costs by optimizing how they utilize their food resources so as to enjoy cost savings in the long run. From a B2B standpoint, we aim to optimize supermarket supply chain efficiency through analyzing consumer data and to recommend soon-to-expire products in supermarkets' inventory to consumers. We will make use of predictive analytics to empower supermarkets to better anticipate demand and supply. We will do this by collecting data on consumer habits through the application and deconstructing the data into trends and seasonality. We will then leverage on time series forecasting to anticipate future demand and hence optimize the supply chain to minimize food wastage. This has three unique value propositions in this aspect. Number one, we aim to improve brand image by boosting visibility of supermarkets' waste reduction practices and eco-friendliness. Number two, improve businesses' ESG scoring so that they can earn rewards such as tax incentives by being a greener company. And number three, to attain supply chain cost savings in the long run by anticipating future demand and assisting supermarkets with their warehousing and inventory needs. In terms of our roadmap, we aim to first push this solution to FairPrice as it is the largest supermarket chain in Singapore, and if the solution is well received, we will then push this to other major supermarkets in the region and in the world. I'll take some time to introduce our team now. Our team consists of Jackson, Erwin, Lai Chu, and myself, Kenneth, and we thank you for listening to our business pitch today.
Thank you, Team Eco Warriors. May we have the judges to ask their questions, please?
For those who are cooking, but what about those who don't cook, like me? So I'm wondering, how can I use this to help reduce food waste?
All right. Do you take milk?
I take milk.
So, so you see, if you buy a big carton, you don't finish in a day. So you finish a few days. But then sometimes you may be too busy that it's near to the expiry date and there's left a bit. So you can actually, if you got a chia seed, I mean, it's usually contained in a bottle, you can make a smoothies. So do you make cookies?
No.
Okay, do you make cakes?
but I appreciate the smoothie idea. I think that's good also for those who work on the go. So those ideas are interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions? No? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, judges. With that, thank you all finalists for amazing pitches. I am sure you have given the judges a headache now. While they make their decisions, let us invite Francois Gray, the director of the Geneva Tsinghua Initiative at University of Geneva, up on stage to say a few words. Hello, Francois, the floor is yours.
Yes, hello everyone. I hope you can hear me. And I gather that you're going to share the slides, is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so I just need to see the slides. Or I don't know if they're shared also here. In any case, so you can see the slides now? The first slide?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay, very good. So I'm going to try to be brief because I realize that time is ticking away, and actually both Christina and Nicolas Stirchli did a great job of introducing this whole topic. If we go to the second slide.
Sorry, Francois, just 1 minute. Can you share the slides on the screen, please?
You want me to share? That's fine, yeah. I understood.
Yeah, so sorry.
So that's perfect. No problem. And you can see the slides now? I hope. I'm sharing.
Sorry, we're trying to, okay.
Do you see my shared slide?
Yes. It's up now. Thank
Okay
you so
now?
much. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Back to you.
Right. So this was the picture I was talking about. This is actually what Geneva looks like today. It's a quite small city compared to Singapore. I'll say a few more words about that in a second. I just wanted to start with this image and just see if anybody in the room has their hand up if I ask you, what is this symbol? Does anyone recognize this? And I'd be surprised if you did, because it's no longer in use. It is the symbol of the League of Nations. The League of Nations was really founded here in Geneva 100 years ago it was the predecessor of the United Nations, and it was the first time in the history of humanity that we tried to create a multinational or multilateral organization to solve the world's problems. And above all, this was just after a world war, just after a global pandemic. The idea was nations needed to work together to solve these major sorts of problems. Now, as you know, unfortunately, after 1920, things didn't go all that great, and there was a Second World War, and after that, the United Nations were created, and they are headquartered in New York. But in fact, the result of having the League of Nations here in Geneva is that many of the agencies and international organizations related to the UN and many other NGOs are based here in Geneva. So Geneva remains the city of peace, city of negotiation. International Geneva is a section of our city with literally hundreds of international organizations. There's about 37 UN agencies and international organizations, 400 NGOs, nearly 200 permanent missions, and it represents about more than 10% of our city's economy. So it matters a lot to Geneva what's happening here. And again, we're quite a small city, although if you take neighboring France, where many people live, we're about 1 million people. So the Geneva Tsinghua Initiative was launched 5 years ago, and we set it up in something called the SDG Solution Space, which is right in the heart of International Geneva. So here you see an aerial view of where we are, and you see the World Trade Organization, the International Telecommunications Union, UNHCR, and others. So we're really within walking distance of many of the UN agencies, including WHO, which you've heard about all the time in the newspapers recently. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because we're really looking forward to one of the teams from this competition coming to our SDG Solution Space, and we hope that they will smile as much as the people in this picture when they come here. This space is used to bring together people from International Geneva with young people like you who have great ideas. The idea is to innovate together for the SDGs. We've had hundreds of events and thousands of visitors over the last 5 years. We have many partners that work with us in the solution space. And one of those, of course, is SDG Open Hack Singapore, and we're delighted to have Christina as a partner and collaborator on these hackathons. So I just want to remind everyone, and I think Nicolas did a great job of really introducing this. The SDGs are a framework, often called the Global Goals or Agenda 2030. They're a way of looking at the world's problems and trying to solve them. And I think that one of the areas where in the future we'll be working with hackathons like this to go even a step further is that behind these wonderful goals, there are actually quite specific targets and indicators, indicators such as the one shown here for reducing maternal mortality during childbirth. So every country has to reach a certain goal. And of course, getting this data, there's hundreds of indicators that are official international ones, and then individual countries have indicators. And we really need to start looking at how each of these projects, each of these SDG projects is contributing towards measuring and reducing some of these specific indicators for the SDGs. So it's not just a framework in terms of concepts of eliminating hunger or increasing health. It is actually a quantitative challenge that we're facing. So I just want to end with a picture of a Swiss family, a typical Swiss family from about 100 years ago. The little boy in the middle, his name was Jean Piaget, and he went on to become a significant scientist in this field of psychology, but he also set up in Geneva during the time of the League of Nations, the International Bureau of Education, which was the predecessor to UNESCO. And he did that because he believed strongly that education was the way we would save the planet from further wars and other disasters. And what he said was at that time, 60, 70 years ago, that the principal goal of education should be creating men and women who are capable of doing new things, not simply repeating what other generations have done. Now, in our classrooms, in universities around the world, indeed high schools, often we don't feel that this is the principal goal of education. We seem to be memorizing things by heart and so on. But I think with the hackathons and SDG Open Hack, the young people are showing us exactly this, that they are capable of doing new things and that this really can have a huge impact on the world. Now, the Geneva Tsinghua Initiative has several components. When it was launched between us and Tsinghua University in Beijing, it was very much about providing a new format for education framed on the SDGs. We have a summer school, we have a master program. We try to make sure that our projects that we do with partners everywhere have high social impact and that they can lead to social innovation startups. So I'm particularly like the emphasis that you put in this SDG Open Hack Singapore on the viability, financial viability of the proposals you make. I was going to go into one example. This is just one out of many examples of a team of students that went on to have a huge impact. I won't go into the details for sake of time, but just to say that often people react when they see hackathons like this and say, oh yes, but you know, it's a great idea, but it's so far from actually getting deployed. So I think one of the points that Nicolas made at the beginning is it's really important to follow on with these projects and support them. And it's not necessarily the same students who will finish the project that start the project, but often you can have generations of hackathons and summer schools and so on that will take a project from a great idea to implementation where it has real tangible impact. And this is one of the ideas we have with Christina, is that one of the teams will come to Geneva for a month-long sort of extended summer school, which is like a giant hackathon to take their project one more step. So I'll finish here and thank you very much for all the organizers for doing such a fantastic job. And I hope that a few of the team members will be able to join a group like this this summer here in Geneva. Thank you.
Thank you, Francois. Thank you. Now for the moment that everyone has been waiting for, the award ceremony. This is the segment where we recognize and present awards to the solutions that have shown great promises. First up, we have the Most Innovative Solution Award. This award is presented to the team with a solution that promises to make an impact related to their chosen SDG. Solving any one of the SDGs is no easy task, but a truly innovative solution not only impresses the judges, but brings changes as well. The winning team will receive an opportunity to be featured at World Cities Summit 2022, Smart Cities panel hosted by City Developments Limited. This event will be attended by business and government leaders from around the world. This is a rare opportunity for innovators to showcase their ideas in front of global audience. May we now invite Esther An, Chief Sustainability Officer of City Developments Limited, to award the Most Innovative Solution Award. Esther, please. Okay. So the Most Innovative Solution Award goes to Team Hiraya. The Team Hiraya is... Oh yeah, they're online. Thank you, Esther. Sorry, are we showing that on screen? The judge is asking. Okay, maybe later. They're trying to contact them. Okay, so thank you for that. So next up, we will announce the Most Impactful Solution Award. When the team comes up with innovative solutions, they consider not only how innovative it is, but also how easily their solutions can be implemented to generate societal and environmental impact. The team that clinches the most impactful solution award will win a spot to attend the Geneva Tsinghua Initiative SDG Summer School. Team members will be able to play an active and meaningful role in tackling the SDGs through intensive, hands-on, team-based innovation challenges, and will receive mentoring and coaching to help transform their early-stage prototypes into impactful solutions. They will also become part of a global online community of young civic innovators. We hope that the team will thoroughly enjoy this experience and be able to expand on their solution at a more advanced level. To present this award, we have Chitra Hepburn, the APAC Head of ESG and Climate of MSCI. Chitra started her career in the financial industry and took the opportunity to delve into clean tech and sustainability when she lived in China. Chitra works with investors on identifying the risks and opportunities through an ESG lens. We're very honored to have her unwavering support for SDG Open Hack Singapore. So now, the most impactful solution award goes to the Powerpuff Girls. Thank you, Chitra. Congratulations, Team Powerpuff Girls. Would you like to say a few words? Yeah, would you like to say a few words?
I always have a few words to say. I think first of all, I would like to take the stage to we had to present, and it was such an innovative challenge. It wasn't just about sustainability as a generic topic. We were actually given goals that tied back to the SDGs, and everyone here is so passionate about sustainability. It really drives us and motivates us. Like, we talk about sustainability in the generic sense, like, yes, we shouldn't use straws, yes, we shouldn't buy too much, but actually seeing it in action is truly phenomenal. I'll let other people speak now for a change. And
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. More than anything, I think we have all these ideas and things and suggestions that we want to implement in our world. But I want to truly thank the Open Hack Hackathon for giving us the opportunity to bring out our ideas and show them to the world and see and gain mentor, especially from Andrew, for example. You've been a wonderful help through our whole process. You've given us a lot of advice, a lot of insights. Thank you so much. Yeah. And the rest of the mentors as well. Sorry.
yeah, I mean the facilitators, they have been absolutely phenomenal. Like, we were facing so many technology struggles while we were submitting, and everyone came to help. It was so nice. Thank you, guys.
Thank you once again to Team Powerpuff Girls. Up next, we would now like to announce the team with the most investable solution award. In order to implement those innovative solutions, the teams should be able to present their business model to attract investors, which is critical for success. The winning team will receive a spot to be incubated by SMU Institute of Innovation and Entrepreneurship Business Innovations Generator Incubation Program. Oh, that's a very long word. Sorry. We do hope to work more closely with the members of this group to help them refine and excel their innovative solution. This award will be presented by Gabriel Tan, the Assistant Director of Singapore Management Institute of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Yeah. Gabriel, thank you. The most investable solution award goes to, it's a bit weird without the drum roll, right? But okay. Okay. Team Igloo. Thank you, Gabrielle.
I'm very much humbled to be here. Thank you truly, truly for this honor. To the mentors, to the judges, to all of the guests here, thank you so much for coming down. On the other hand, this is to the other participants. Each and every one of your ideas has been inspirational for me. And I believe that climate change and all of these sustainable issues are something which will remain the forefront of what we need to fight in the future. And I've always long believed that innovation stems from difficult times, and innovation is the one which will build us out of it. And I look at all of these passionate ideas and individuals, each with their own dreams and goals to fight, to help contribute to these sustainable development goals. I'm very heartened to be in your presence. Once again, thank you very, very much for this honor. I could not be more proud to sit among you, and the past we inherit, but the future we create. Thank you.
Thank you, Team Igloo. We managed to bring back Team Hiraya, so we will be putting them up on screen, and we will retake the photo with Esther. just give us a minute. Oh. Hang on a minute. I think they're trying to bring them in. Hi, Team Hiraya. Can you hear us? Congratulations.
Thank you. Would it be alright to wait for my teammate in like 3 minutes? She's just getting her device, if that's alright.
Sorry? Okay. While we wait for her, do you want to say a few words for winning this Most Innovative Solution Award?
I would want to thank the organizers for the opportunity to really get creative when solving problems. I think that's what makes innovation fun. It's it's not for yourself, but also for other people, and making the world, it sounds corny, but a better place. And I also thank you for Caroline, who is not here right now because of Zoom issues, but I really enjoyed her and working with her and the rest of my team as well. So yeah, I can't wait to see what the future holds for all of our solutions and how much we grow individually and together towards a better world. Thank you.
Thank you. So, okay, we'll just wait another minute for her team. Yeah.
She said that she really can't make it, so.
Okay, so we just
yes, she
take
said
a picture.
she
with
wishes she could be here.
Okay, so now we'll just take a picture with Esther and the certificate that we're going to give it to you. So maybe you can just give your bigger smile.
I just want to say something that I was so impressed by all these youngsters. They're so well spoken and so sincere. I think we have hope for our future.
Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Esther. Thanks, Team Hiraya. Thank you for your time. Okay, once again, thank you to all the judges and congratulations to all the winning teams. Also, kudos to everyone who has made it today. We see the immense effort and talent of every solution in this open hack, and this gives us hope that we can collectively achieve the Sustainable Development Goals together. For our final speaker, may we welcome Chitra once again back on stage to deliver the closing remarks. Chitra, please.
I'll keep this short. So a couple of things just wanted to say. One is way back in the 90s when I actually did my master's in environmental economics, it was on the back of a report called the Brundtland Report. And that report defined what sustainable development was. And what that is actually passing on a planet without burdening future generations. The thing that struck me today is those future generations are taking matters into their own hands. And I love the solutions all of you came up with in 24 hours on a shoestring budget. So well done, all of you. Saving the planet in that shorter time is a challenge at the best of times, but I think you rose up to it and did a fabulous job. To Christina and others who've organized this, I was part of this last year, and I've watched how this has grown just over the space of 1 year, and I look forward to seeing how far it goes over the next few years. So to all of you, thank you for being here and supporting all of these young champions. For those who mentored and who's sort of been helping them also in the background, the facilitators, well done to all of you, and thank you all. Without you, we don't have a better planet. So thanks.
Thank you, Chitra. So with that, we have now come to the end of the award ceremony of SDG Open Hack Singapore 2022. As Christina mentioned earlier, this is just the beginning. We look forward to working more closely with everyone to reimagine a sustainable future together. Thank you everyone for participating at the SDG Open Hack. Each and every solution that you submitted showed great promises, and we hope that moving forward, some of these solutions could turn into actionable projects that will result in a sustainable impact. Thank you once again to all our mentors for guiding the participants throughout the SDG Open Hack, so many of them could leapfrog with their ideas overnight. Thank you again to our university partners, corporate partners, and all the judges for your contribution to making SDG Open Hack Singapore a great success. Okay, refreshments will now be served till 9:30 p.m. And to our online audience, I'm not sure if they can hear me. Thank you all of you who are able to tune in to celebrate with us today. Goodbye for now, and see you all again at SDG Open Hack next year. Yeah. Well, one more thing, right? For some of you who wish to bring home the bento, please go ahead and help yourself. Let's not waste any of the food here. Yeah. Okay, thank you.